on our way to Montpelier. It's raining really hard. It's raining really hard.
Cook-Kallio, which is James Madison's home. James Madison was the 4th president of the United States, and he drafted a large part of the Constitution, and he wrote the Federalist Papers. Here is relatively new, so it was mostly refurbished. There were some rooms that didn't really have anything in them, but the rooms that they did have were really nice. They were furnished really nicely, and we had this awesome tour guide. Her name was Ellen, and she totally knew everything she was talking about. So she just got everyone really excited about what's going on. And then we had this talk with this really excited guy who was such a kick in the pants.
Thank you so much.
And we talked about constitutional conundrums and stuff like that. But we went to go tour the house, and there was a lot of cool stuff in there. I feel like after the tour, I ended up liking James Madison a lot more than my original favorite president, which was Thomas Jefferson. That was pretty cool.
What am I eating? Candy stick. They took off the curve, and all of a sudden it became like this revolutionary idea that you can have a stick of candy.
We have Lebanese food.
I'm an honorary South Indian now.
What are you?
Get out. She tried it. Did you try it? No.
Are you sure?
I have no clue what's going on.
I told her about her.
We just watched a 4D movie about journalism. It was crazy.
Aspect
It was really cool.
of capturing the president, just showing what.
So we went to the museum on Friday. That was probably a really good experience for me, especially because I'm in journalism, but the museum was pretty much a museum dedicated to the First Amendment and especially freedom of the press. It was really interesting because it lent us a kind of a historical perspective on a lot of things that we study about in our textbooks. Perhaps my favorite exhibit was the exhibit where they had front page newspapers all the way dating back to the 1600s, and they had front page newspapers about things like court cases, things like the Dred Scott case, things like Gandhi's assassination. There's everything you could think of, the major events that have happened since the 1600s. There's front page newspapers there, so that was really interesting. I was also really touched by the 9/11 exhibit. It gave me I was pretty young when 9/11 happened, so it gave me a much more close link to what happened on 9/11.
Conducted an operation that killed Osama bin Laden, the leader of Al-Qaeda.
And then we went back to our hotel, and we had a speaker, Mark Tushnet, who was from Harvard. We're not from Harvard. That was a privilege. All right, anyway, yeah, he was pretty good.
Really interesting because he talked to us a lot about not necessarily his views, but things like the thick and thin Constitution. And what was also interesting about him was that he wrote a memorandum to Justice Thurgood Marshall, which is rumored to have influenced the decision for Roe v. Wade.
So on day 6, we arrived at the Wilson Center where we listened to a lecture by American University Professor Jordan Tama, and honestly, I thought it was one of the most enriching lectures I've ever heard, and it focused mostly on U.S. foreign policy. And the great thing about U.S. foreign policy is that it's not a very partisan, well, it is partisan, but not as polarized as other areas. So it was nice to see Professor Tama talk about how ways that Congress could work together, especially in terms of foreign policy, because Congress is quite polarized right now. And he was really open to answering all our questions that range from one end to the other end, and I think it'd be a great resource really for any unit.
Thank you.
Aww.
You guys asked great questions. You're clearly very knowledgeable, so it was a pleasure to talk with you.
Is this right? No.
Gary, I know we've only known each other for a short amount of time. But I want to ask you something very important. Will you marry me?
No, I'm sorry. After that, we went to watch performance of the Capitol Steps, and you should all go watch the Capitol Steps. They are a satire group that does political satire of every kind. Who thought she'd keep the dress?
To shoot Osama's face, and we had his body reeled in to find a final resting place under the sea. That's where he'll be. We gave him 3 plugs, now he's with sea slugs permanently.
We're eating breakfast 30 minutes before it closes. I'm so sad.
I want to leave. Stay here forever.
We're done.
26.
We got 36
I've been done so many times.
Thank you for getting on my phone. Dropped it onto the side of the bus. So, in token of gratitude, we got you some seasoned candy.
Thank you, man.
Thank you.
We met John Lewis and Mike Mondale and got a tour of the Supreme Court. Senate, House gallery seats.
That was cool.
That day was a pretty good day.
I really liked
Wait, you want to use microphones?
Professor Wilcox because I thought he was really interesting and had really good insight.
So on the last day, we obviously came back from Washington, D.C., but I could say that definitely the plane ride back was way different than the plane ride there. It was just, you could talk with anyone, and it's I guess that's the meaning of bonding as a family. I think going to D.C., yeah, obviously it was an educational trip, but more than that, you got to know the people you'll be working with for the next year and hopefully make friends for life. And it was just really cool because everyone let their guard down and was really chill.
Yeah, Lewis is really cool.
He's such a generous.
He's like this old dude that you see in the history books, but he's right there.
The best part of the whole trip was not only bonding with everyone, because I think I made friends with everyone, and in the beginning I didn't know anyone in this class, so I think it's really cool that we got to know each other.
That bonding is really necessary in order to have a strong team, and it was very warm and nice, and I had warm fuzzies all the time. Okay. We took a flight from Washington, D.C. to New York, and we stayed in New York for a couple hours, and people just went to get food and stuff. But I know there's a group that played 10 Fingers, and I think through that they really got to know each other closely. It's just cool, and yeah, definitely it's something I won't forget.
Nobody's here because Miss Cook-Kallio. She's working. There she is. There she is. How do you feel being back?
I am not excited. This is not cool. I have so much work to do.